Kia ora team, Dave from Rod and Rifle Magazine here, reviewing a rather interesting piece of kit. Not a piece of kit that a lot of hunters are familiar with, maybe more shooters, and that is the Athlon Rangecraft radar chronograph. A lot of you would be familiar with the old style optical chronograph, which involved the system sitting out in front of the barrel and the rifle, and you would shoot through a certain area and your projectile would pass over two sensors, and basically the bullet passing over the front and the rear sensor would be measured, and the velocity would be worked out via those means. As you can imagine, with that old school style of chronograph, a lot of shots could have the potential to be missed. It was a great system, but it did have its downfalls. Obviously, shots could be missed. You could end up shooting either the rods or the actual chronograph itself. Obviously, you've got a small gap to shoot through. Many optical chronographs met their end by being shot by the wannabe shooter. And also, it could have errors like either it wasn't accurate, or sometimes it would miss shots because the light conditions weren't right, or the gases from your rifle might pass over the sensors and impede the chronograph's ability to read the projectile as it went over. So they were great bits of kit for their time, but this new style of chronograph, as you'll see, absolutely changes the game in terms of reading velocities and gaining information about your loads. First thing that you'll notice about the Athlon Rangecraft chronograph, the simplicity it is to set up chronographs like this. Turn it on, place it on the stand, put it somewhere around underneath the rifle. There is a certain distance it's supposed to go, but I trialed it in different positions and it read the velocities in each of those positions. So the simplicity and the speed with which you set it up is unrivaled with any kind of optical chronograph that you'll find on the market today. The next thing we found with the chronograph was that it never missed a beat in terms of reading shots. So we fired around 40 to 45 shots past the chronograph, and it read every single shot. That is an incredible feat for a chronograph, an absolutely incredible feat. Next, what can you do with that information? Obviously, it's going to tell you what the extreme spread is. That's quite a simple equation to work out. The extreme spread that a chronograph is going to tell you is the highest and the lowest values of the velocities that it's reading. Standard deviation is the other main thing that you're going to get from a chronograph. In simple terms, that's basically what is the likelihood that a shot is going to land within the extreme spread. There's a mathematical calculation for it. The exact mathematical explanation is a little bit beyond my ability to explain on this video, but it basically reads the spread in between the extreme spread, or how likely it is to hit a certain area within that. So in terms of price, comparison between the main competitor, which is the Garmin chronograph, the Athlon comes in $250 cheaper there or thereabouts. So it's definitely a saving in money. It's hard for me to ascertain which readings are more accurate between the Athlon and the Garmin. I've seen some research and some videos which suggest there is a difference between the two readings. It's hard to discern which chronograph was actually more accurate from those videos. But I would say that for the majority of hunting, either chronograph, whether they were out by the sort of 3, 4, 5% that I was seeing, that's going to be more than accurate enough for any sort of hunting to middle range purpose. If you're going to do long range shooting and long range development, load development, then perhaps we need to look further as to which one would be the exact better match. My recommendation, if you're a hunter that's looking to push that middle distance of shooting, push it out 300, 400, 500 meters, and you want to do some load development or just see what your factory ammunition is doing, because the velocity and the standard deviation and the extreme spread is really going to help you to really nail those shots and get the correct sort of trajectory and information for those dope cards that you use. My recommendation is that 2, 3, or 4 of you get together, each chip in and buy a chronograph between you, and then you use it between yourselves. Chronographs are one of those bits of kit that you'll buy once, and when you use them intensely, and they're awesome to have. However, they may sit dormant for a long period of time. That's why I recommend that perhaps 3 or 4 of you get together and buy one that you can share between you, so it's always in use somewhere and that you don't have to foot the whole bill yourselves. In summary, the Rangecraft chronograph from Athlon read every single shot that we sent. It provided good information. It was super easy and simple to set up. It's a fantastic price, being around the $950 mark, so sub $1,000. And we think it's a fantastic chronograph, and definitely a big positive move away from the old school optical chronographs, which still have their place. However, you cannot compare those chronographs to this style of chronograph here.